Hey, how are you? How you doing? How you feeling? I hope all is well. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee. Welcome to Open. I'm from 107.5 WBLS, and we always cross-promote each other. Well, coming up on today's show, we're here from the Lyme Coach, who has created a guide to help newly diagnosed Lyme disease patients. Then we'll hear from a talented performing artist, singer, and songwriter who will shine a light on her recent project. So stand by for that. You don't want to miss it. And then finally, we'll speak to the founder and CEO of a platform that has grown into one of the largest personal finance, media, and production platforms for women in the U.S. She'll shine a light on how she is helping women build generational wealth. Stand back, stay tuned, and kick off your shoes and relax your feet. We are wide open. Let's do it. Hello, I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee from BLS, and you're watching Open. It's that live interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. Stay connected to us through social media at Bronxnet TV. Leading things off, our first guest is a Lyme disease survivor and is known as My Lyme Coach. She joins us to speak about her first 30 days survival guide, highlighting important information that can help newly diagnosed Lyme disease patients and so much more. So please welcome to the show, Samantha Sloves. Samantha, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you giving me the time to shed some light on this disease and my new guide.
Yeah, and now, Samantha, of course, you're dealing with it. That's why you said, you know what, I don't want anybody else to go through this. I need to let people know more about it. Where are you living right about now?
I live in White Plains, New York, and in terms of the disease, I've gotten through some ups and downs, and I've learned how to navigate living with it. But when I was 14 years old, I got sick, and I didn't know what a tick was, and I grew up in Westchester my entire life. And if you don't know, a tick is the size of a poppy seed, just like what you would see on an everything bagel. That's how tiny it is. It's tiny and so easy to miss, especially on dogs with dark fur or any other animal that's outside, young kids. And I wish someone had taught me what to look for in elementary school and preschool, because maybe I wouldn't have ended up in the situation I ended up with. And I'm not a physician. I can only tell you from my lived experience, but Lyme disease is a bacterial infection that you get from a tick bite. And if you don't know what a tick is, then again, you're just like me when I was 14.
Yeah. So were you running through the backyard, or how do you think you got it?
I think I got it from, I know I got it from dogs coming into the house that weren't being checked. They were going on hikes. People in my family were going on hikes in the woods in Connecticut. And, I was the kid that didn't want to get my nice sneakers dirty. I wasn't an outdoor kid. So, that's how it came in the house. And that's a lot of people get it.
And when did you think that you may have something going wrong?
Well, I was 14 and I had the energy of like an 80-year-old.
Wow.
My grandparents had more energy than I did. They were going out more, and slowly but surely, within about 6 to 8 weeks, I started losing mobility because I had joint pain. So I had to hold on to the walls when I was walking. And, I'd go to school and the teachers wouldn't even want to teach me. They'd be like, we're sending you to the nurse to send you home because you don't look right. And I didn't feel right. So it started with fatigue and being exhausted, and slowly I lost my mobility. And I was diagnosed with Lyme very early on, which is actually fairly unusual. But that diagnosis was dismissed by another physician. And what followed were 2.5 years of medical gaslighting, nearly 100 doctors, 40 hospitals in 30
Wow.
plus different diagnoses. So I ended up spending 4 years in a wheelchair where I couldn't stand up, get in and out of bed, on and off a toilet, in and out of the shower without help. And then what led to my, getting better and, being more mobile, I ended up needing a walker for a year. So what I learned is you really can't wait for the system to figure you out, and you
Yeah.
have to become the CEO of your own case. And that's how I went from wheelchair bound to walking, and from being told I'm crazy to never walking again. Every doctor had a different diagnosis. So that's why it's so important to really, as I always say, be the CEO of your own case, and you own it or it owns you. So you got to
Yeah.
decide early on what you're going to do.
Yeah, it says here that Lyme disease is an illness caused by the bacterium Borrelia burgdorferi. These bacteria are carried by the black-legged tick, known as the
Yep.
deer tick,
Mm-hmm.
and that was from Global Lion Alliance. So all of the doctors, it's so hard to pinpoint, and it gives so many different looks as far as what it can be. What is the correct diagnosis for it?
Well, it's known as the great imitator for a reason. I got diagnosed with things like a childhood form of MS. I got diagnosed with different things like, lupus, arthritis. I was told I was crazy. It is really it can imitate everything because it affects every symptom. And I
Yeah.
think that where people go wrong, and when I realized I needed to make a guide for this, is I kept seeing the same pattern. People would get diagnosed with a ton of different things all across the spectrum, and they'd either spiral into panic and freeze completely, and they'd spend weeks Googling, joining Facebook groups, and getting really overwhelmed by conflicting advice. But what they didn't realize is you're losing precious time. Those first 30 days, in my opinion, and I'm not a doctor, but in my opinion, those first 30 days are the most critical, because nobody tells you what to actually do during that window to prevent this from becoming chronic. Because
Yeah.
if you catch Lyme early on, you're going to probably avoid it becoming chronic and becoming a lifelong thing that you need to manage. And there's so many protocols, but there's no roadmap that I've seen for you just got diagnosed yesterday and you're terrified. You don't know which doctor to call. You don't know what questions to ask. And you're stuck Googling at 3 a.m. with where, when, who, what. And that's the gap I identified because I lived it.
Yeah.
And people, in my view, need is structure, not just motivation, but they need a GPS and a guide, not a guru telling you to stay positive when your joints feel like they're on fire. Yeah. So the first 30 days aren't about having all the answers. They're about making decisions from a strategic standpoint, not panic.
Mm-hmm. So, Samantha, how are you doing now as compared to, a few years back?
I'm doing a lot better now than I was, but I can't say that I'm 100%. I had a surgery like about a year and a half ago, and ever since that surgery, I've had some symptoms come back. One of the biggest symptoms is neuropathy, and I have nerve damage that I'll probably live with forever.
Mm-hmm.
I have a tremor in my hand that you could probably see, and it affects me a great deal. And I have good days and bad days. It's like having lupus or arthritis. You have your flare-ups, and you learn how to control it. But, knock on wood, I'm grateful. I'm mobile. I can talk. I can, live life. But you have to work on and figure out what works for you.
Yeah.
And what you,
we can't tell from here, but God bless you. It looks like, from the pictures that they've shown before, with you trying to walk and in the wheelchairs and all that stuff, it's like, wow, it looks like a big difference now. You're doing a whole lot better. But I know you feel what you feel.
But it's unfortunate, because if I had known what I know now, it probably never would have gotten to the point where I was in a wheelchair in hospitals for months on end, and I I never even made it to more than a month of high school. I was so sick.
Yeah.
So that's the part that I really missed out on my teenage years.
So now you're letting people know. You don't want them to go through what you went through, so you have something called My Lyme Coach.
Yes.
Lyme disease. Tell us about it. Is it a book? Is it a pamphlet? Or is it a video? Or what?
So what I do is very concierge, very highly involved, coaching and concierge management of everything. I go to doctor's appointments with people,
Good.
and I do it all. I do everything I wish I had. So it's concierge level care coordination. And what that really means is I prep them for appointments. I help them synthesize complex medical information. I coordinate between all the specialists so everyone's on the same page. If you're seeing 5 doctors, I want all 5 doctors knowing what the other one knows and what the other one thinks.
Excellent.
And I track patterns. I notice what's working, what's not working. And the key differentiator between me is that I'm available 24/7, literally, including weekends, including Friday nights, and all the times that most people aren't available.
You're
on
call.
I'm on call.
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor, but I'm a key part of their team, and I'm with them through it all. Like this past week, I spent most of my week with a client who was in and out of appointments and had an emergency surgery, and I was right there holding her hand when she was about to go in for the anesthesia. So I'm there through it all because I didn't have that.
Yeah.
So if I can help somebody else avoid going through what I went through and advocate for them, I'm going to do it.
Samantha, can you tell if someone is dealing with Lyme disease? You know from just looking at them because of what you've been through?
I can. I think I've become really good at identifying the things there are some highly specific symptoms that the average person wouldn't know. And I've become that person in the community that people are like, the friend's cousin's mother calls, and asks me questions. And again, I'm not a physician, but, I built this survival guide for people that are newly diagnosed or in it for 30 years. Unfortunately, there are people like that. And I kind of have this thing that I like to call a matchmaker for doctors. And I think it's important when you're sick to go to a doctor that works for your lifestyle. Like if you're in college and you're 20 years old and you're going to a naturopathic doctor that wants you to eat gluten-free, mold-free, sugar-free, dairy-free, and take 30 herbs, you probably aren't going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
If you are at home and you have mom and dad cooking for you and helping you, you can manage that. So you have to think of beyond, which doctor is what. You have to think, what's going to work for my lifestyle so that this doesn't own my entire life.
Yeah. What are some of those symptoms, those early symptoms that you've noticed that people should look out for?
Joint pain, fatigue, really, really specific things that a lot of people don't know about is like there's this thing called air hunger where no matter how many breaths you take, you still feel like out of breath. There's this very specific, there's a lot more than Lyme. People talk about Lyme, but there's so many co-infections. You can get a lot more than Lyme from a tick bite. Yeah. And arguably the other infections are usually even more dangerous. There's something called alpha-gal syndrome where you can very quickly become allergic to red meat and different mammal-derived products. Bartonella, you can have different, it looks like stretch marks, but it's not. It's called cat scratch disease or Bartonella, and you have purple marks on your body and burning in your shin. So there's these specific things that if someone's telling me my shins feel like they're on fire or I can't catch a breath, or they're sweating in the night like their mom who was going through menopause, I know what's what. And I can identify that because I live with all of them and I've talked to so many people.
Samantha, you may not be a doctor, but you're a big help to the doctor. And I know you probably are a doctor, knowing what you know. You're right there.
Yeah,
pounding the pavement. for people.
I definitely am a big help to them. And a big thing that I do when I'm working with someone is I put together a timeline.
Mm-hmm.
And because I like to work so closely with people, and what that means is we can talk 2, 3, 4 times a week. And when I'm working closely with someone, if they say, I was able to go for a walk this weekend, but I've been working with them for 6 months and they've never once said, I went for a walk, I can say, okay, well, what's changed? Did we change something in treatment, in diet, in environment? What changed that you have the energy to go for that 10-minute walk? Because it may not sound like much, but that 10-minute walk is telling me something. So I analyze everything, and I really try and make sure that I can help them and help them go ready when they go to the doctor. So
Yeah.
the guide includes some different things that I feel are important, but when you work with me, I do that for you. I identify the most important things because you tell me this is what's bothering me most. This is impacting my life most. My quality of
Yeah.
life is not good because I can't think straight. I can't, you know, I can't sit up straight. I can't do this. I can't do that. And I'm so frustrated. So I'm just someone that's in your corner, there through it all, no matter what.
How does the naturopathic way work? Natural healings and vitamins and minerals and herbs. Does that work for you, or would you recommend that or suggest that to people?
So, unfortunately, the problem with Lyme disease is there is no one size fits all treatment. And that's why the first step is finding a provider who, in my opinion, again, I'm not a doctor, but I do
Yeah.
know a lot about this. So, I believe you got to find a provider that works for you, and you have to believe in what treatment you're doing.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't do that well with these naturopathic treatments. I do better with an integrated plan, a little
Ah,
Eastern, a little Western. I
there you
don't do
go.
extremes, but some people do. So it depends on what they believe in, what they've done well with or poorly with in the past, and you have to take all that into account and make a plan that's personalized to you because it's not cookie cutter.
Yeah. But you don't want to go to someone who's just going to put a Band-Aid on it and the root of the problem still exists.
100%.
So is there a specialist that deals with this specifically that you recommend to people?
Yeah, I recommend. I mean, I have my own like Rolodex of people that, if you're based in the New York tri-state area, I know a lot of people, or I can reach out to people and say, "Hey, do you have someone, I have a client in Las Vegas and in California," and I can reach out to people, but through working with Global Lyme Alliance, they have a lot of people that are great that you can trust. And what you really need to look for is a Lyme literate medical doctor. It's also
Uh-huh.
known as LLMD.
Yes.
You want them to be trained through ILADS, which is a Lyme organization, and it's just that's what I would recommend. And I wish someone told me when I was 14 and I was being told all these different things like your job isn't to make doctors comfortable. Your job is to be the CEO of your own case, to advocate for yourself, even when it feels impossible, even when it takes all your energy. And that's what I want this guide to give people, the permission, the structure, and the tools to trust themselves. Because if I had known that trusting my own experience was more important than making a doctor feel like they're right and they're okay, I don't know if I would have gotten so sick, and I got really sick.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, can people go to your website to find out more? And is your contact information, everything is on that website?
Yeah, everything's there. My website is www.mylymecoach.org. You can spell Lyme
Mm-hmm.
Lyme, and I'm also on Instagram and TikTok at mylymecoach.org. And I share very unfiltered and raw insights about navigating chronic illness and, what it's like navigating a chronic illness when you're in a relationship or when you are at different points of the illness. Are
Yeah.
you going to school? Are you trying to get back to work? Or do you have to make a decision to not work? There's so many different points
Yeah.
in the illness.
Well, Samantha Sloves, my Lyme Coach for Lyme disease. Thank you so much for all that you do, and thank you for sharing that wonderful information that people need to know.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
It was really a pleasure.
And big shout out to Boyfriend Dan and Global Lyme Alliance. Thank you guys for helping out. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We'll take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back next.
Only 57% of New York City high school students are college ready by their senior year. "55% of high school graduates either have no plans to attend college or are uncertain that they will ever attend. "34% of young adults don't go to college because they can't afford it. Discover what's possible. Bronxnet's education programs, internships, and opportunities help engage and inspire Bronx youth and beyond to pursue their passions. Be a part of the Bronxnet family. Whether you're interested in our shows, joining a class, or donating to support our mission, visit bronxnet.org to learn more.
What's up, creative family? Discover your voice with Bronxnet Community Media Classes. Are you ready to bring your ideas to life? At Bronxnet, we offer television production classes for community members ages 18 and over, empowering you to share your vision with the world. Get certified in field production, in-studio production, and our new exciting addition, podcast production. Once certified, you can create your own show to air on one of our 6 TV channels. It all starts with our free Unleash Your Ideas Masterclass, designed to help you plan your show idea and set you up for success on your production journey. This class is offered at the beginning of each month for your convenience. Our dedicated Bronxnet team is here to support, encourage, and uplift you every step of the way. Join us and become a part of the creative force that engages and inspires the Bronx community and beyond. Sign up today and start your media journey with Bronxnet. Visit bronxnet.org/education to learn more and register. Let's create something amazing together.
There you go. Welcome back. Our next guest is a singer and songwriter, and she joins us to, she's going to be talking about her passion for music and spotlight her latest project, Cruel Intentions. Watch out. She's here, Shreea Kaul. Shreea, welcome.
Hi.
How are you?
How's it going?
Good. So you've been doing this for some time now, and you're of the background of South Asian, the South Asian diaspora.
Yes.
Is that right? Yeah.
That's correct.
And I hear your music is like flying off the charts, so to speak. You know, you
It's getting there, I would say. It's making some waves.
And Cruel Intentions, you get to earning 13,000 streams in 4 months, and making a breakout moment in your wonderful career. How did you get started in it?
Actually, 13 million.
13. Did I say 1,000 or million?
I think it was 1,000 if I heard correctly, but yeah, it's crazy. It's been just a few months, and we're almost at 14 million now.
Uh-huh.
And was your question was, how did I get started?
Yeah.
So I moved to the States when I was really young. I was around 7, 8 years old. And when I moved here, I was exposed to a whole new world of music.
Uh-huh.
I learned about Etta James, Aretha Franklin,
What? All right.
and I got really interested in soul,
At
R&B.
last.
My love is home.
Uh-oh, watch out.
But I got really interested in soul music really early, and then
Uh-huh.
obviously being young into pop music as well.
Uh-huh.
So I grew up starting to create music aligned with that, but then I realized how much nostalgia I had for the music I heard back home in the land I was born. So I
Uh-huh.
started creating music that felt like a true amalgamation
Yeah.
of both worlds. And here we are.
What part of Southeast Asia are you from?
I am from India.
India. All right. And they just didn't have that type. Well, you can get into, looking at you, you can get into the Bali world and all that stuff.
I didn't feel as much of a pull towards that world. I didn't feel like it fully encompassed where I wanted to go. I felt like once I came to the States, I truly understood the direction I'd want to go with music because it felt so worldly. But in India, I felt stuck to one option.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think there's a possibility that you may be able to bring the two together and say, hey, look at me?
Absolutely. That's the vision. That's the goal.
Uh-huh.
I'm working towards one day making my style of music accessible to the whole world and not just in one bubble of the diaspora.
Yeah. What is that that single? Terry Bina?
Terry Benaya.
Benaya. Oh, I think I'm missing an I there. I'm like, yeah, Terry Benaya.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
How did that come about?
Sorry?
How did that come about?
As any song does, you never expect the songs that go viral to go viral. But when we were in the studio creating it, it was really meant to be just this melodious, groovy piece. Again, that's a mixture of both the Indian world as well as Afro beats, modern pop,
What? All
a
right.
bit
Yeah.
of R&B and pop as well. So I curated the song to fit in as many markets as possible because I like to make global music. But when I started promoting it, I had no idea it would take off the way that it did. It eventually landed around 100,000 social media videos. It reached 13 million streams. And it was like, I
Instagram,
think,
YouTube Shorts.
yes,
And
yeah.
this was a
So,
self-directed video?
yes, it was.
Well, can we check out a piece of it?
Absolutely.
All right, here we go. Check it out.
What brings you here to see me today?
I don't know. You tell me. You're the psychic.
Something is troubling you. Let's find out what it is. Pick a card. The Eight of Cups, the Ten of Swords, and the Lovers. Looks to me as if you're running away from something. On this path of escape, you will find love. A love as seductive as a black dahlia, but one equally as dark and treacherous. Be careful and proceed with caution. Your fate, my dear, is a tumultuous one.
Love? I don't know. I think you're making a mistake, lady.
You are the muse of my melody, fountain of beautiful energy. I am craving for you, baby. तरसती हूँ सावरियाँ तेरे बिना मन लागे सुना खामख़ा सताती है क्यों बेचैनियाँ हम
What?
Yeah.
Self-directed and everything, huh?
Yeah, it was just a humble beginning to hopefully many more projects in the future.
Yeah, look at you. Well, how did you come up with the? Look at you got the acting in there and everything.
Yeah,
Watch
I
out,
tried to
girl.
make it
Watch
like
out.
a little movie.
Yeah. So who played the card reader?
My mom.
That was your mom?
Yeah.
I don't know if I thought that or not. But
It
yeah,
was,
she played. Tell her she's a great actress also.
yeah, we just did the best we could with what we had, but looking back, it's like a really fun
Well,
first project for us.
well, you're getting views all over the place. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
That's great. That's great. So what's next for you? What can our viewers expect to see from you in the upcoming future?
I am really focused on live performances right now. So I have currently on a very small tour. I just completed South by Southwest in Austin, and I have a show coming up in New York on May 14th. So hopefully I can get my New York crowd to show out.
All right. Well, ask them. I'm going to give you a camera right now. Say, hey, New York, I love you. I need you. I've got to have you.
Okay, easy. New York, the first city I landed on in my venture to the US as a little kid. You are one of the best cities in the world and one of the most amazing cities to perform for. So I hope to see you at my show at Baby's All Right on May 14th. And it is truly going to be an incredible night. I hope to see you there.
Yeah, there you go. What time do we start?
So the show starts at 6:30. Doors open at 6:30, and the opening act is going to go on around 7:15, 7:30.
There you go. And you're on for, what you doing, about two or three songs?
I'll actually be performing for about an hour.
Oh, whoa,
So
you're in
it'll be
concert.
a proper concert, and it'll be to promote my album. So it's going to be songs from Cruel Intentions and a few songs from my catalogs before.
Yeah. How did you come up with that name, Cruel Intentions?
Cruel Intentions, the project is a concept project. So as you start the album off, the album mimics the protagonist of the project. So it starts off really naive and doe-eyed, and as you progressively go down each song, the songs get darker and darker and more doom-filled and more intense to mimic the journey of the protagonist, who's kind of going through this coming of age process and realizing that the world doesn't have the most pure intentions. So I wanted to title it the opposite,
Look at
which would be
you.
Cruel Intentions.
Let me find out. Very good, very good. All right. So a mom has been very, very helpful with it, right?
Yes, especially recently, I feel like, as any immigrant kid, it is difficult convincing your parents of the legitimacy of this trade. But I think my mom has been able to come on board knowing that I have multiple streams of income now. I work a corporate job, which is my 9 to 5, and then my 5 to 9 is my music career.
Yeah.
So my mom is so much more on board now and is so much more involved in the process as
good.
well.
It's great. It seems like you have a good business mind behind it also. You said, you know what, I got streams of income. I got these extra jobs over here. So if all else fails, I still have money coming in. And I have a very, very important story to tell. It's going to be short because I want to highlight you more. But when I first started at the radio station, WBLS, there was this guy who was the CEO of the company, Inner City Broadcasting Corporation. And I interviewed him, and he says, people call him a jack of all trades and a master of none. I'm talking fast. He says, because I keep about 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 jobs. I said, what? He said, yes. He said, because if 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 fail, I'm still in business. So he really emphasized the importance of having streams of income. So,
Yeah, I totally agree.
listen, you have another video out?
Do I have another video out? Yes,
Yeah.
I do. I have a video called Hangama, which means riot in Hindi,
Yeah.
and it's a much bigger budget, much bigger production. So definitely check it out.
We have one called PD?
Piggy also.
PD.
Yeah,
Can we take a look at that?
absolutely. And if you have time, I would recommend Hangama as more of the big bang.
Bam, bam. All right, I got PD up next though.
Okay,
All right, so-
amazing.
all right, let's check it out.
I've been about you often, and I don't care to stop it. Delusion crowding my brain. दोनों मोहब्बत के मारे खोए से पगले बेचारे फिरते हैं हमारे मारे हाय भीगी रातें लंबी मुलाकातें तो तेरे बेईमान इरादे भीगी रातें लंबी मुलाकातें तो तेरे बेईमान इरादे beईमान इरादे close. Every time I get close, suddenly you turn to smoke. Intentions are see-through. Inhale 'cause I need you. It's painful to breathe you. हम दोनों मोहब्बत के खोए
Hey, wait! I was dancing. Wait. Put that record back on. You caught me dancing.
Well, it's a
So-
good sign.
Yeah. Yeah, sure, for sure. And now, that record was, how did you put that one together? And how did you come up with the name of that one?
Visually or sonically?
Visually.
Visually, this was co-directed by my friend J-Tech in Houston, and it's really meant to be this kind of. It's meant to depict a woman in psychosis and just ready to risk it all for the man that she loves, but that also comes with its own like dark twists and turns in the video. So we wanted to depict that through her rummaging through his clothes and entering his home unannounced and developing photos of him and whatnot.
Yeah. And briefly, you mentioned another one just before we played this video. Which one was that again?
It's called Hungama, and it means
Hungama.
riot.
Yeah, no worries. I like it. I like it. I like the name of it. What does it mean?
It means riot. In
Riot. You're a riot, you know.
Hindi. I do my best.
You can fight, huh?
Well, I did train in martial arts when I was younger, so I'm wondering if that inspires a lot of my recent music.
Yeah, it's all coming out now, but it's beautiful. Yeah, do your thing. You know, if people are streaming and they're loving it, they're liking it. You know, why not? Let's keep doing it, all right? And good luck to you with all of this. This is good. I mean, you're on the right path. That's for sure.
Thank you.
Now you're going to be touring in New York and California also, right?
Yes, I'll be in Los Angeles at the Moroccan Lounge on May 28th.
Okay, so our friends over there, make sure we go to your website to check all of those locations out. Where can we go to get more information?
Feel free to follow me on Instagram at Shreea Baby, and I'm also on TikTok with my artist name at Shreea Kaul.
You said Shreea Baby?
Shreea
Baby, yeah. All right. Listen, thank you for joining us, okay?
Thank you so much
We
for having me.
appreciate you. We like your music too, like your videos.
Thank you. Have a
Shreea
good one.
Baby, Shreea Kaul. Shreea Kaul, performing artist, singer, and songwriter. And she's producing videos too. Watch out. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
See you
We'll
soon.
take a quick break, and I've got more open next. Stay right there.
eco-leaders. We learned that everything starts with ourselves. Then we have to educate ourselves. Then we have to build community and use our imagination.
We're gonna start the show right now. This is my favorite part. Ready in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hey, this is Angel, and I am one of the instructors for the in-studio production. Here at Bronxnet, we offer classes that can help you elevate, expand, and start your television career. All you have to do is sign up at bronxnet.org/education. For the past 7 years, I have been in various productions, spanning from talk shows, independent films, news reports, art displays, teachings, musical performances, and many more. Ain't that right, Angel? Yeah, you're absolutely right, Angel. There are a lot of creative individuals that we're just waiting to sign up for the class. And if I may, can I also express thank you, Angel. That's all the time we have left. Visit bronxnet.org/education and become a producer by taking the course. The class I offer is also in English, en español y también bilingüe. Nos vemos en la próxima clase.
Soy negro, blanco, taíno, mulato, caribeño, bueno, latinoamericano.
And welcome back. Our last guest is a certified educational instructor, investor, podcaster, finance expert, a best-selling author, and the founder and CEO of Clever Girl Finance. He joins us to talk about how she's empowering women with the tools to build generational wealth through the release of her newest book, Clever Girl Millionaire. Please welcome to the show, Bola Sokunbi. Bola, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, so excited to have you here. Tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from and how you built your business brand, Clever Girl Finance.
Yes, so I am the daughter of what I like to call first generation everythings. My parents are originally from Nigeria, so am I. First to go to grade school, high school, college. They grew up in, poverty, and I watched both of my parents work incredibly hard, operating in survival mode, and they taught me how to save and budget, but they didn't have the tools to teach me how to navigate the American financial system. And so because of that, I had a very messy middle. I made some huge money mistakes as I was learning and growing. But I learned that saving money buys you safety, but investing is what buys you freedom. And so I started Clever Girl Finance because I desperately wanted to create a shame-free, jargon-free space that I wished I had when I was figuring out my own money. And, my goal was to support women like me. And today it has grown into one of the largest personal finance platforms for women in the U.S.
All right.
And so we are focused on helping women realize that no matter where you're starting from or restarting from, your comeback starting right now matters so much more than any setback you might be experiencing.
Yeah. So what are we investing in?
Investing comes in different flavors, right? But I believe the lowest barrier to entry from my personal experience, for many people is investing in the stock market and starting out with an employer-sponsored plan, if you have one, like a 401k, 457b, 403b, or opening up your own traditional IRA or Roth IRA. And for folks who are employed and have access to that employer account, many employers offer something called a match, which is essentially free money that incentivizes you to invest. in your retirement account. And I always strongly recommend that people take advantage of that full match because it is free money that's being handed to you that can grow for your future self. Other ways to invest could be in small business, right? Entrepreneurship, starting a side hustle, or even in real estate. It's all about figuring out what works best for you and aligns with your lifestyle and what makes you feel comfortable.
So you learned all of that when you came to the U.S., or you started out there?
I learned it through trial and error, getting my first job, getting my first salary, making lots of mistakes, investing like a day trader, and then ultimately learning that, investing is a long-term play. It requires understanding the basic principles of how the stock market works, how investment works, doing my research, and then focusing on broad diversification and not investing in things that will cause me to lose sleep at night. So knowing my investing personality.
But I bet you your parents are very proud of you now.
Yes, they are.
Are you hooking them up? You send them money? Are they still in Nigeria or they came over to the U.S.?
So my dad passed away a few months ago, unfortunately.
Sorry to hear that.
My mom migrated here, so she came with a background of investment banking. She had a master's degree, but her credentials did not translate. So when she moved here, in order to grant us that better life, that American dream, my mom was working as a nanny and as a nursing aide, and then she eventually went on to pursue her dream of becoming a nurse when she turned 50. But she's incredibly proud. She is the clever girl behind Clever Girl Finance.
All right.
And, yes.
Yeah. So you are here creating the awareness that people should know more about their finances. Is that correct?
Yes, it is so incredibly important because, when we think about money and building wealth, a lot of people tie it to sensationalism that's on social media of celebrity and cars. But this is really us empowering our future selves to be able to take care of ourselves, to give ourselves options, to walk away from situations that don't serve us, to be able to pay for health care, to be able to retire without stress. And so prioritizing financial wellness, starting with what you have and where you are, is so incredibly important.
Yeah. So after building Clever Girl Finance into such a powerful platform, what inspired you to write Clever Girl Millionaire now?
So my goal is and has always been to empower women to see the possibility of what you can achieve with slow, consistent steps, even when life sets you back, even when life happens. I mentioned to you that both of my parents are first generation everything. And they came out of college, first to go to grade school, high school, college, and they came out of college carrying the obligation of their entire extended family because they were the first to achieve that level of success. And even to this day, we have family members that we still support financially, and so just having that, empowering women to know that they can be successful with their money, that they can achieve wealth, that they can change their generational trajectory, which is what my parents did, is so incredibly important. And it's not about being rich, it's about creating the opportunity for your family, about giving yourself options to live in a life that you desire for yourself.
Yeah, so somebody can make $100,000 and somebody can make $75,000. And you're thinking that maybe the guy or the person who's making $100,000 is way better off than the person making $75,000. But if that person who's making $75,000 puts it in its right places where it's supposed to go, they can flourish and be a lot better off than the person making $100,000. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Intentionality and consistency. My very first job in New York City was $54,000 before taxes. After taxes, it was like $40K.
Whoa, yeah.
We all know in New York, it's very expensive. And I was building my habit of consistency around saving. I remember that I had paid all my bills with one paycheck, and all I had left over that particular paycheck was a single dollar.
Whoa.
And I said to myself, Bola, you need to save this so that you can say you saved something in this paycheck to stay consistent with your plan. So I tried to do the online transfer and it blocked me because the minimum transfer at my credit union was $10. So I got in my car and I drove to the credit union. I got my $1 and I said, I want to deposit this into savings. And she's like, did you really drive all the way from your house to make a single dollar deposit? And I said, yes, because I need to maintain my consistency and my habit around saving money. So, and that just showcases that, if you can start small, as your income increases, when you get the refund or the bonus, etc., you've automatically trained yourself to save more.
Yeah, I mean, even a dollar adds up.
It does.
It adds up. Shucks. And how early should we start teaching people about finances? Because I remember somebody coming to my school back in the day, and it was a bank, and they did a talk in the auditorium, and I think they left us with like a little piggy bank. And I think that's as far as they went with financial literacy. Here's a piggy bank, put some change in there, and at the end of, when it fills up, bring it to the bank. And that was probably about $5, $10 maybe, I don't know. Mm-hmm. But that's as far as they went. How should we do it now? And where do we start? In elementary school?
Mm-hmm. So start as early as possible. I started teaching my kids the concept of ownership when they were very young. Yeah. So my son loves sneakers and he loves specific toys from Mattel. And I'm like, well, you can have the toys, you can have the sneakers, but we can also buy you a share in this company so you can be an owner.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, kids also learn through observation. They see you when you go to the grocery store. The grocery store is an excellent place to teach money lessons because you go with a fixed amount and we can only spend this and this is our list. Go find it. So teaching them as early as possible. But, a lot of us are coming from spaces where we were not taught about money. Maybe our parents did not know, different life circumstances. So starting today is also perfectly fine. Yeah. There is no shame in learning about money right now as an adult, no matter where you are with your finances. So we want to teach our kids when they're young, if possible. They will also learn from watching us. Yeah. And we also shouldn't be ashamed to tell them, I've made this mistakes. I'm trying to recover my finances in this way. This is how I'm budgeting. This is how I'm saving. This is how I'm paying off debt. And just giving them those examples here and there, and also empowering ourselves with knowledge so that we can do better and learn more about, planning our finances, investing, and so forth.
Yeah. Should you treat yourself like a bill and pay yourself first?
100%. Every time you get your paycheck, I always tell people to do this. Pause.
Pause.
Before you spend, pause. And then make that transfer to your investment account, your retirement account, your, whatever. Pay yourself first. You should be a bill that you pay. Yes, so that is correct.
Change your name to Bill.
Yes. Bola the Bill.
Exactly. What's your advice for people who are living paycheck to paycheck? What can they do to squeeze some type of savings out of that?
Yeah, so, I totally understand. The economy is very tough now. Things are incredibly expensive. People are trying to make ends meet. And so when it comes to paycheck, it's really important to understand where you stand with your finances. What is your income? What are all of your expenses? So you can identify any money leaks that are occurring. Like what is leaking? Where are you overpaying? Where can you cut back? But it's important to keep in mind that you will get to a point that you can only cut back so much. You still have to put food on the table. You still have to pay your mortgage or your rent or utilities. And so once you've gone to the point where you understand all your expenses, you understand all your income, you've plugged all those leaks, you've cut back, you're working on discipline, the next thing is to get creative and think about ways you can bring money in. How can you increase your income? Could you start a low-cost side hustle to bring in money? Are there things in your kitchen closet, your kids' old strollers, your garage that you can sell? Facebook, Poshmark, eBay to bring in that extra income? Can you have a conversation at work with your boss about how incredible you have performed and why you deserve a raise? Or perhaps it's time to start looking for a higher paying job. You want to start getting creative about how you can bring extra money in. And once you bring that money in, you want to make sure that you're repurposing it. You're putting it towards your financial goals intentionally, paying down debt, building up your emergency fund, and investing if possible.
Yeah, I see it as a leak. You're leaking, baby. You're leaking.
Those subscriptions, those random spending.
Exactly. So you go on your cell phone, and if you don't look, there's a lot of money being taken away from you. No, well, yes. You're spending a lot of money just using the cell phone because you purchased a lot on here, but sometimes you don't even realize it because you don't feel it. But that's where you can probably start saving, right?
Absolutely.
And then take that and put it in hey, this is going into a savings account here.
Exactly.
Move it over.
Exactly. And it adds up. Like my $1, it adds up.
Yes. Talk about your books.
Yeah, so I'm a 6-time author. I've written 6 books.
Congratulations, everybody at home and everybody in the studio.
But my newest book is called Clever Girl Millionaire. And it's all about empowering people to see the possibility around building wealth, what they can achieve for themselves, and not just visualizing and laying out visions, but practical steps as to how I have built wealth despite money mistakes, despite my background, despite being a first generation immigrant with parents who grew up in poverty, and empowering with specific steps and actions that you can take to build wealth for yourself long term. And I
Yeah.
also lean into legacy in there. You know, what do we want our legacy to be? What do we want to teach our kids and leave our kids when it comes to generational wealth? And generational wealth is not necessarily just dollars and cents, because
Yeah.
I can give you $1 million and you can spend it in a day. It's about empowering them with generational knowledge so they can manage what you give them and continue to transition it forward to their own children too.
Yeah. Oh, I got to pick up that book. I got to pick that book up and go through it. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot in there. Now, what's it about? You included exercise and prompts throughout the book?
Yes, so every single chapter has exercises and prompts. I start out with mindset, talking about how you can improve your mindset and just wrap your mind around the idea that you can be successful. I also talk about the specific engines around building wealth, so earned income, investing, real estate, and entrepreneurship, but you don't have to leverage all of them. You can create your own combination of wealth building engines to work your plan for yourself. I talk about letting go of shame. I talk about not comparing yourself. I talk about not tying yourself to anybody's timeline but your own.
Yeah.
I talk about my own personal mistakes that I have made, many mistakes. I talk about money and relationships in marriages, how to navigate building wealth as a single person, as a person who is exiting a relationship. And like I mentioned earlier, I lean into legacy and why it's so important for us to start thinking about legacy now.
So stay in your lane. Don't look at what the other person's doing.
Listen.
Focus on what you can do with what you have.
Put your blinders on and focus on you.
Yeah, beautiful. Social media, website, I got about a minute.
Yeah, so you can find us at clevergirlfinance.com. All our handles on social media, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Clever Girl Finance. Check out my new book, Girl Millionaire, and we offer over 30 plus completely free courses and would love to have you join us.
Oh my God, thank you for all that you do. Seems very exciting, and I know Dad's looking down saying, "Go, girl. That's my girl. Give me a hug." Yes.
Yes, I'm hoping so.
Yes, and I'm sure Mom is very, very proud of you too.
She is.
Thank you for all you do. And come back again, okay? We want to know more.
I would love to.
You got it.
Thank you for this opportunity.
You got it. My producer will hook you up. He'll be in touch and bring you back again.
Thank you so much. I would love that.
Bola Sokunbi. She's the founder and financial educator, Clever Girl Finance, author, and Clever Girl Millionaire. She's a millionaire. We're going to borrow money from her. I'm only kidding. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
all right.
Bob.
Thank you so much. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today's show. I want to thank you, our guests, for joining us, and you, our viewers, for tuning in and checking us out. Keep following us on social media at Bronxnet TV. Now, you may want to join us next week for another new episode of Open. I'll catch you another day, another way. Always remember this: what you are is God's gift to you. What you make of yourself is your gift to God. So choose your choice and let your choice control the choose. And remember, whether you say you can or you can't, either way, you are right. So say you can and you will. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee. I'll see you over 107.5 WBLS. I love you all. Peace.